beat, you bastard.
Baby girl, I see you've been crying. Baby, won't you wipe your tears? Baby girl, don't stop and leave.
Hey you guys, welcome back to Leveling Up. I am your host, Nick Beam.
It's your favorite ladybug in the trees.
Hey, what do you think so far?
I think this has been awesome. We've been on a run.
We've been on a run.
With these vision boards.
Hey.
We hit the marathon on this one.
Hey, we have a new show.
We gotta make it do what it do.
We have to.
Can I drop the storyline?
Go ahead and drop the storyline.
Today we're gonna put it in perspective. That's what we're doing today.
Putting things in perspective.
The plan.
This is what they really are.
Yes. This is when it's time to go. Remember we said tell you when to go? This is when you on your way?
And you have to.
Now, it's a few things we gotta run through.
Well, let's run through them real quick.
We're gonna just jump right into it. You guys, we've been talking about vision boards.
All show long.
And other show. And one more show.
And another show.
And again and again.
Here we go.
So, by now you should have already gotten your boards together. We left off where we finished our boards.
We are done with our boards. Almost. And they're done.
I'm done.
She's good.
But he's gonna get it together. You may be me, you may be him, you may be neither of those. However, we gotta keep it pushing. I got this. You're gonna have to let people know who you are. Once you get started and you actually get grounding and you begin to take footing on your path and do the things you need to do to make your visions come to life, some people are not gonna be with it.
They're not gonna be with it because it's difficult sometimes when people don't really understand who you are.
Ooh, story of my life.
Right? They might not just understand who you are, but sometimes you have to reintroduce yourself to people.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
My name is Beam! Okay, that was a little much, but
he's always, and I'm extra?
That was a little too much coming from you. So sometimes you do have to reintroduce yourself to people.
Excuse me, y'all must have forgot. She's queen of extra.
Do you hear like that? Do you hear like this?
No, because I have it. It's
do you hear like this?
Leave my fro alone. It's a happy cute.
Did you guys see that?
You're gonna get to know me and the fro. We will reintroduce ourselves several times because you know why? We believe in reinvention. Me and my hair. We stay leveling up, right? And this is what you guys have to do. You have to be bold and courageous and embrace your change. This way you can present it to the world. Because guess what? When you start to go forward, Beam, people are not going to necessarily understand or support you.
That's true.
So you have to be able to step out and say, hi world, I'm the new Nick. This is my new normal. Do you know about a new normal? Your new normal, the normal of now, your normal in the moment. Y'all know what I'm talking, let me tell you. Normal is what I'm doing, who I am, and how I be, right? Well, as I change, that will change. The things that I believe in may change. The things that I do may change. So that then becomes my new normal.
That is definitely the new normal.
Right?
Because I know that there are a lot of things that people are not going to notice about me. I know that there's going to be a lot of questions they may have, but hey, here I am. Again.
See me.
Didn't give up.
Hello.
I'm here.
Hello.
You're going to notice me.
Hello. Thank you.
Right in front of. Sometimes you have to put yourself back in front of people so that they don't forget about you.
Yeah.
So you have to continue to make yourself relevant.
Yes.
And the only way to do that is to continue to present yourself so that they never forget. It's almost like going to a job, right?
Every single time.
And trying to get a job. And you go out there and you did the interview and you know it was good and you're waiting to hear back and you're not getting the call and you're like, you know what? Let me give them a call.
That's right.
And let them know that, hey, you have my resume.
Hello,
how's it going? Have you guys decided yet?
Check. Payday.
Sometimes you have to do those things. Sometimes you have to reintroduce yourself to people so that they know exactly that you mean business. That they know exactly who you are.
I would say promote you until everybody knows you. You cannot go into this thing without gumption.
She's metaphoring today. She's on it.
Actually, I'm key phrasing and I'm using my key phrases that I've coined, but I digress. You have to gather yourself. It's okay. Fan it off. You have to be so brave and so bold as to be willing to have the gumption at every interval of your change and every step of reinvention to do two things.
That is definitely.
You have to love you And you gotta let them know you here.
Let them know that you are
I'ma
here.
love me, baby, and I'ma let y'all know I exist.
And that's very important.
Yeah.
Because you have to.
It's
There's
critical.
no other way. Because a lot of people, like you said, they may not like me. They're not for me. A lot of people are not for you.
That's right.
But you have to continue to do what you do best.
Yes.
Not what others think you should do,
That's
not
right.
what they're offering and all of that stuff, but you have to do what you do best, and that's be the best you.
Let me tell you, there's one thing you can never fail at. There is one position that will never be overoccupied or even occupied. There is one thing that can never be done by anybody else but you, and that's being you. Nobody can be you but you. Bring you everywhere you go and you'll always get the job. You'll always have the victory. You'll always get hired.
So speaking of that,
You know?
and we move on, and
Yeah,
because which it leads me to contrast.
Okay.
Okay. My best contrast of me is all the in between.
Yes.
All the in between, the things that make Nick Bean
Yes,
great, the things
yes,
that
yes,
highlight
yes.
Nick Bean. These are all of the things that you're going to notice about
That's
me.
right.
My contrast, because I'm able to move these things around and make you notice those things
That's
about
right.
me, right?
That's right.
So it kind of, I put myself where I need to be so that I'm seen.
And you are spot on. You are spot on with kind of segueing us into the 3 C's. You guys may or may not know this is well-known information, and it's okay if you don't know these things.
And these are the 3 C's.
But we're talking about, we're kind of going into the 3 C's of change, which is context, contrast, and concrete. Right? And so he hit it, you did that. My contrast is who I was versus who I am, and I own that and I present that. And I love the way that you said that. I love how you laid that out, plain for everybody. Let's talk about context. And really context, so if we were to look at Webster's, right? Context means a capacity with which to hold or measure something. It's
Right.
a space of point A to point B. It's a measurement that something sits between so that
In
you
between.
can gauge what's really going on with it.
Right.
So you have to put you in context, right?
And once you put you in context.
It's easier to see where you are and who you are and what you're becoming versus who you've been.
And not only for you to see, but for others to see also.
True.
Yeah.
True. But you have to define the context, right? If I allow the world to place me as it would have me, it would be harder for them to define my success, my failure,
Right.
to understand my disposition, to see my beliefs, and to relate to who I am as a person.
And that's why you help them understand.
That's right.
By
That's
defining
right.
who you are.
Own it. Own it, own it, own it.
That's
If
good.
you create the context, then you create the victory. We have some, we'll just say artists, we won't drop names. We have some artists in the
Right.
media today, right?
Right.
And some of them, this one young woman who I'm gonna kind of glean on,
Okay.
she's controversial, she's edgy, she's a rap artist who came kind of from the gutter, and some
Nice.
people may not prefer her behavior. Some people may not even like her lyrics, but everybody loves her story because she created the context of where she was coming from. She defined the context of where she wanted to be. So now she can own who she is.
You know what? It was interesting just
Right?
to hear you say this, because as you were talking about her and you said, but she is. So there is a but in everybody.
That's right.
But in between that contrast, there is a but in everybody, because you
Right.
never forget about that person. It's like, even though all of these things, I have to say, but
That's right.
she
That's
is definitely, you know,
That's
so
right.
there's a but in between everybody.
Now, and he just hit the hot plate, y'all. You know when it's in the frying pan and it's hotter than fish grease, you get that thing going real
Bring
good.
it.
The splash, you just splash me.
You don't want to get no grease though, popping.
Hey, I don't even eat meat, so it's not an issue for me. But I'm just saying, most of y'all love y'all fried fish and chicken. We gonna keep it G.
We'll let y'all have that. Y'all can have that.
for now, till we get to the health and wellness.
Exactly. All right, let's not move too far
Right.
ahead. Okay.
Anyway,
all right.
we digress.
All right.
Let me just tell you this hot plate. So you mentioned the but. Now, how you know you are moving in a concrete fashion and being solid with yourself, which is really, really intricate and it's critical to change, is when your but makes a shift. When you go from a I will be, but I am, to a place of
That's good.
I was, but
But
now I
now,
somebody come on.
right. That's pretty good. I mean,
That
that's
just-
the only way to put it.
You gave me that.
You know, so
That was good.
that was some good stuff that I just said.
It-
Yep, thank you. I
Y'all see
appreciate
that? Y'all see? Just when
so-
I thought it was, I
but
need
it-
a check.
But you know, but
SSI.
and here's
Stress
another
me
but.
out.
But it's that good. When
You're that good, or are we back on?
Because but almost never finishes because
Oh.
you know.
Oh,
but do you hear what I'm saying?
I hear
Where
you.
I'm
Now
going
you're
with
going.
that?
Now you're going somewhere.
It
You're
kind of
talking good.
almost
You're talking
never
good.
finishes. So it's like it continues on for you, like you
right.
know, because they have that but in between, and for them
That's
to put
right.
that but, it lets them know that you are there, that
That's right.
they do see you. So I like it. I like what you're saying.
That's right.
It's pretty good.
Well, you the one dropping the genius. The key is everything works together. All things works together. All things will work together for the good of them that apply themselves, the good of them
Continue
that know.
to apply yourself.
Come on. So you really got to pay attention to part 1 and 2 because the contrast is
Definitely
what's
is
going to
very
give you
important.
the context.
It's definitely going to give you the context.
And then when you get the context, now you can be concrete, which is
Definitely.
where your butt will continue to be eternal and make a shift.
See,
like you
and
said.
then that's when you know that things are laid and the foundation
That's
is
right.
there and you have something to stand on. You have
Yeah.
ground. Now that you have ground, there's no way out.
That's right.
Because
You won't be stagnant.
You can't be stagnant.
You
There's
won't
no
be
time for
stagnant.
stagnant.
That's right.
And because everything is set in stone already.
Sure.
You know, and you laid it there. You put it there.
It was you. Nobody else, which leads me to something else. So if you are responsible for the placement of how people perceive you, and I mean seriously, y'all, if you are the one, and we're gonna be just real about this, if you owning up to your success and you're owning up to the fact that you created the identity you wanted to
Right.
have and you made yourself, you know, all these things that we talk about when we talk about leveling up and being bosses.
Definitely.
Well, then you are also the one who's responsible when you don't come to be that person. You're responsible when you fail or fall short.
That
You're
is true.
responsible when the vision stays on the board and it doesn't come to life. That's all you.
All on you.
You. And it doesn't always feel good.
Not all the time.
It doesn't feel good.
It can hurt.
But this is why we're talking about these kinds of things, y'all, because change works both ways. We can sit all day and talk about things as though we live in a world where everything we want comes to pass, but there's a lot of people out here who don't do.
Right.
More often than not, and I hate to say this, but we do the elephant in the room still, right?
We are definitely.
Most people never achieve the dreams and goals that they most deeply desire. Science tells us that humans have the greatest capacity to be whatever
Ever, yeah.
we choose, but we have the lowest designation to become it. Meaning dogs and cats have a lesser capacity to be what they want. They
pretty
are
good.
destined to be what they already are. But by divine creation, right? By way of God, we can be what we choose. We have the
Whatever we
power of a
choose to be.
choice, right?
That's
And
good.
most of us don't even
Use
utilize
it.
that choice.
That was good.
So,
That's good.
you know, when we're talking about vision boards, and we've been keeping it light for y'all. We've been keeping it light. But real talk, it's time to level up. Like, there's a lot of people who out here just slack, and you have such a potential to be more. And it doesn't matter about age. We have some viewers who are mature, right? We got some mamas,
We do,
grandmamas,
we do.
and things, aunties
Oh,
and mamas and thems, uncles and thems.
Definitely.
And you have the capacity to do just as much as somebody who's 12, 20,
Right.
30, 40, but we don't do it.
That is true.
We
That is
we
true.
don't use the 3 C's, right?
We don't. But this is where we are, and we need to get to that point where, and that's why we're relaying it to them, so that they
Yeah.
can continue to have all the tools that they
That's right.
need. And these are just
That's right.
tools. We implement
That's it.
these in our life. So we implement them so
Yeah.
that it can help us be great in
Yeah.
our everyday life, so that it can help us achieve and get to where we want to be.
It's true.
You
And
know,
I mean,
and
if you look
accomplishing
at some of the
everything.
greats, you'll see. Look at anyone who's ever been successful. Look at any of your favorite, and I don't mean just your favorite artists who've just come out, but I
Right.
mean your favorite, most successful executives, people who employ people. Look at
Now,
other
see,
famous people.
Right.
You know,
A lot of them.
they're doing these
are-
are proven practices, right?
There it is. There it
So-
is. So I think we kind of touching right on. We in the right spot. We're hitting the
Okay.
nail on the head. So, but we don't have that much time again, and we always running out of time.
It's
and
always
this
the time. It's always the time factor.
is always.
I wish I could
But
hang with y'all all the time.
we can't. So we're sorry. We got to get to
Sorry.
commercial. We'll see you.
We'll be right back.
Well, yep.
Another day.
Another one.
I survived, y'all. I'm gonna tell.
It's been a long day.
Because he bosses me around.
Number one. So.
And number two, the stress. If someone can give me a check, anyone in the Social Security Administration, it's rough.
Are you asking them for the?
They know what I go. These people know I need help.
It's not true, you guys. It's not true.
Part of my vision board is less stress from Nick.
You know what? Part of my vision board is going to be not to stress.
What? I'm not stressing you. That's why you can't get it out. With her. You know what, you guys? It's okay. You're going to have these things in life. This is why you have to be the one to change. As we've been talking about today, change comes from you, and when you are the one who controls the change, you control the outcomes. And so we want you to practice the 3 C's. You want to run it back to him?
You run it back to him.
I told y'all, telling me what to do. Sure, Nick.
Thank you.
So, the 3 C's, I was facetious. The 3 C's are contrast, context, and concrete. These are the 3 fundamentals of change. If you want change, you have to know the contrast, the difference between who you were and who you're trying to become. You have to have a context, something to measure it with.
Definitely, you want to make sure that it's measurable.
Come on, and then after that, what you got to do?
Whatever it is that you want to do.
Hello! You got to stay solid.
Stay solid. Stay
ones
true to
don't
yourself.
Fold. Solid ones don't fold. He ain't gonna make me crumble. You know why? Because I practice the 3
Hello.
C's. I got my contrast, context, and I am concrete, okay?
Let me tell you something. You always want to make sure that you are leveling up.
No matter what.
We love you guys.
We love y'all.
Stay tuned.
In reading your book, I had a few questions that I pretty much know your life, but some things in this book I didn't understand, and I'm sure some people is gonna have the same questions that I had.
Yes.
So she has some wonderful topics in this book. Like I said before, the name of her book was Love Was My Infirmity, and I know just from you, she's the type of person that loves love.
Yes, I do.
Meant to be will be, 'cause everything is everything. What's meant to be will be.
He's worth more than diamonds, so we can't lift him up. He's the king, he reigns, so watch me lift him up. He deserved your life, so won't you give it up? Learn how to go through the trial and stop.